2.5 after the hour, a little light rain, and temperatures not bad this morning here in East Central Alabama. We'll update for you that in just a couple of moments. We're joined this morning by Boyd McGehee for Talladega Insurance Agency, and Boyd has a special guest this morning. Boyd, you introduce her, but both of you, good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see y'all.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
You brought some beauty with you today.
I did. I brought some of the brains of the operation. I brought my daughter. She's 8 years old. Her name is Mary Lib McGehee. She's named after her great-grandmother, my grandmother.
Wow.
Whose father didn't found the agency, but took it over in the 20s. So
okay. Now, this insurance agency over 170 years old. Am I right on that?
February 13th this year, we turned 170 years old.
Wow. Talk a little bit about the history of the McGehee family and the insurance agency itself.
Well, it's for years. Let's go to the beginning. My great grandfather, Turner Joel Jones McGehee, purchased the agency in the 20s, and it was founded by a man, his predecessor, named James G.L. Huey, who also founded Hueytown, was one of the founders at First Bank of Alabama, First National Bank, Isbell, as you go back and back. But he was a real doer and mover and shaker in the Talladega area at that time. I think Talladega was incorporated probably around 1834, something like that. Well, James G.L. Huey started the agency, and we used to say, because we have a check on our wall in the agency from February of 1858.
Yikes.
So we thought that was all we could prove. That's how old we were. Well, they didn't write a lot of checks back then. And this check was like 201, and sitting on our wall, and for decades, that's what we thought our date of birth was, or at least what we could prove. When I submitted for a historical marker a couple years ago for the Alabama Historical Society, I submitted all the information. Well, more information has gone online since then. And we found that James G.L. Huey was in the Alabama legislature putting forth a request to be incorporated and start a company called Talladega Insurance Company. On February 13th, 1856, it was passed. So in the midst of submitting for a historical marker, we found out we were in fact 2 years older than we thought, which placed us as the second oldest agency in the United States of America.
That's amazing. That is amazing. And you've got another generation coming up too, right?
I hope so. I hope so. She loves real estate too. So
all right.
she's we'll see what she ends up doing. But
so where do you go to school?
Donahoe.
Okay. What grade you in?
Third.
Third grade. All right. So what do you like about school? Don't say nothing now. You gotta like something about school, right?
Seeing my friends.
Okay. Who's some of your friends at school? I want to say hello to them today.
Annie Marsh, Olivia Beard, and
Okay.
what about your teacher? You say hey to your teacher.
Miss St. John.
Look at that. Look at that. Wow. Boyd, the insurance industry has changed so much, like everything else has changed. Well, let's go back to an earlier time. What were some pluses about the insurance industry back then that you know of?
Well, that's a good question, and it's really a question that's at the forefront right now. When my grandfather moved to Talladega, he was from Montgomery, and after World War II, he met my grandmother, and they moved to Montgomery. He was in the pharmaceutical business, and he was behind the counter all the time, and he wanted to be out with people and around people. And my grandmother missed Talladega. So they moved from Montgomery back to Talladega, and he began working for his father-in-law. And it was about relationships. It was about, I know you, you know me, we know each other, let's do business. And that was kind of the way insurance was back then. You did business with who you liked. Well, now, today, you can do business anywhere you want. I can do business in New York, which we do. We have business in Houston. We have business in San Francisco. We have clients all over the country. But it is still about relationships at the very end, and that's kind of where I think things are coming full circle. Is I have a insured that makes AI toys for children, and he didn't know his agent. He used an AI bot to purchase the insurance, found out that he didn't have everything he needed. And I called him up, asked if we could work on his account, and he said, absolutely, I don't know who my agent is, and quite frankly, I don't know that I have everything I need. And he didn't. So back then it was about relationships, and what I'm seeing is that there is still a need for someone to guide them and help them and explain to them, because most people don't know everything they need and the exposures they have until they're told so.
Well, certainly there's not many at all companies or organizations that can say they've been around 170 years, and it is still about people in your family and Talladega Insurance Agency. How many employees do you have?
We're about 9 people,
okay.
And that's a really good statement as well. When I first came back, which was around 2004, a gentleman in Talladega said that agency is what it is because of the people that work there. And we don't have turnover. The ladies that work in our operation are very professional. The knowledge that they have would be hard to find in any big city. So we've made it, and we are where we are because of the ownership that they take into the accounts. And so I know a lot of our insurers would rather talk to them than me. So.
Boyd McGehee from Talladega Insurance Agency, our guest this morning, along with his beautiful daughter, who's here gracing our set today. And what type services can we talk about this morning that are offered through the agency?
Well, how about this? What are some of the insureds you think we do? What are some of the accounts that you can think of that, you don't have to name them if you don't want to, but what are some of the types of business that we insure that you've heard us talk about?
I don't know.
Houses?
Yeah, houses.
Cars?
Cars.
Yeah. What about maybe grocery stores or restaurants, churches? We have hunting camps. We have schools. Pretty much anything that can walk through that door, we can do. And that is back to the 170. You in this industry, you're only as strong as the markets you represent. So for decades, we used to tell people we're the oldest agency in Alabama. But what does that mean to our clients? What that means to our clients is that we have the markets to shop your insurance. If you came into my office and you were a dentist and you wanted me to do your dentistry and insure your dentistry, what if I didn't have a market for that? What if I was a one-stop shop and I was an insurance agency that just had one company? I couldn't help you. So in our case, we have about 5 or 6 carriers that write dentists. So, you're only as strong as the companies you represent.
No doubt about it. Boyd McGehee, 4th generation, McGee's at Talladega Insurance Agency. Who did you glean much of your expertise from down through the years?
That's a really good question as well. I like your questions, and for those that don't know, I didn't know these questions, and
I didn't know I was going to ask them either.
I like them. I like them. They're good.
Spontaneous.
When I came back, my dad wouldn't help me. He said, "You go exhaust every single avenue you can, and if you can't find the answer, then you come back to me." So there was a gentleman in our office at that time named Philip Underwood. Who worked for Talladega Insurance Agency for 20 years. He was a mentor. My father had me involved in a lot of...
Bill, right?
Bill.
Yeah.
A lot of insurance groups where I met a lot of people that were just a little bit older that I could kind of latch onto. And back then it was email groups and whatnot, you know, who writes news stations, anybody who's the best carrier for car dealerships, and things evolve, companies change their appetites. And so there was a lot of that, but also the people that work in the office, the ladies. I remember Susan Parker, who's been at our office since 1984. She was a wealth of information to help me learn how to fill out applications. And that became kind of my resources. And if all avenues were exhausted and I still didn't know, then I would go to the old man. But the beauty of that is that unfortunately, he passed away in 2017, but I had 17 years of knowing how to do it, and his coaching, you know, right by my side.
Now, you're on the square there in Talladega, is that right? Or
Just off the square, right behind Regions Bank.
Okay, okay. And from time to time, I will contact a business about advertising on television or a billboard, and they'll say, "Man, why do your rates keep going up?" Well, the same thing can be said about groceries or insurance. How do you deal with people who are really price conscious and they're not looking at the entire picture?
Man, these are great questions. I love
Donnie,
these
I'm gonna have to
questions.
start charging more for this.
I love these questions. You know, we like to believe that we don't just churn out quotes. I would tell you and look you in the eye that every homeowner's policy I've written, I've sat down with those people and explained. And when you have the opportunity to sit down and explain to people their coverage, they care more about that. They care just as much about that as they do price. Everybody has a threshold of what they're willing to pay, but what I find quite interesting when I speak to people is most people's most valuable asset is their home. Most people.
Yeah.
Most people in this country. And most people, they have things that they like in the consumer purchasing world that they're willing to splurge or spend a little money on. If you want to go to a really nice dinner, you probably got something in your mind right now of what a really nice dinner is. And it's not the cheapest, and it's not the least quality. Well, when we explain to people that their home is their most valuable asset, they're willing to listen to what the best coverages are. And then they make their decision on if they're willing to pay this or that. The best coverage doesn't mean the most expensive. It just means that it may not always be on television. It may not be advertised all over the place, because quite honestly, the best don't have to advertise sometimes. So we have these companies with which to shop their insurance, but what happens is that if that market, that carrier doesn't work, there are 10 other options. So things have changed price-wise, though, and that is true. What we're seeing is construction costs dictate a lot of what insurance
I've heard that,
is.
yeah.
And so, you know, what your home was worth 15 years ago is vastly different now. And that's a major driving point. The other driving point is social media. People see that people have outdoor living areas, and they want an outdoor living area at their home. They want a nice kitchen. They want nice countertops. And so that tends to drive up maybe credit. People are borrowing more and buying more, and credit has a lot to do with your insurance premiums. So there are a lot of things that are taken into account in the insurance industry now that maybe weren't 20 years ago.
We appreciate you guys coming by this morning. Boyd McGehee, fourth generation McGehee in Talladega Insurance Agency, 170 years. And you don't look 170. I mean, you know, your dad doesn't look 170, does he?
No.
Okay, all right. Now, before we go this morning, I want you and your dad to just talk to the people right here. Now, this goes all across the state of Alabama, okay? Wherever Spectrum Cable is in a household, people can watch this show. Now, I want you guys to just talk a little bit to these people about Talladega Insurance Agency. We've got 2 minutes to get that done. Y'all go ahead.
Anything you want to say? why don't we tell them about what's happening Friday? So on Friday,
Tomorrow, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Donnie Miller with the Chamber has come up with a wonderful idea to throw us a celebration to unveil our historical marker that is going to be installed, and we're going to unveil that, and we're going to have breakfast and coffee, and the Chamber is sponsoring it and helping us gather a large group of people, friends, members of the community, insureds, company people, underwriters. Will come to help us celebrate this historical marker that shows that we're the second oldest insurance agency in the state of Alabama. She's going to be there with her sisters and her brother.
You gonna be signing autographs? You never know. You never know. Hey, thanks for both of you for being here this morning, and Donnie, thanks for being a part of getting them here, and congratulations on 170 years and Talladega Insurance Agency. Is there social media, Facebook pages and stuff like that they can get in touch with you guys?
There is, and I will say one closing thing that I think a lot of people don't know. Talladega has the oldest law firm in the state of Alabama. Talladega has the oldest bank in the state of Alabama, and Talladega has the oldest insurance agency.
Y'all are old up there, man.
Yeah. So, yeah, you've got Wooten Thornton Law Firm and First Bank of Alabama and Talladega Insurance Agency, and they're all within 100 yards almost of each other.
Longevity.
So, yeah.
Longevity. Wow. Oh, goodness. Well, thank you both for coming this morning. Congratulations on a job well done and continued success, Talladega Insurance Agency. Now, I want you to tell me your full name.
Mary Elizabeth McGehee.
There she is, ladies and gentlemen. Her along with her father, Boyd McGehee. They make up a part of Talladega Insurance Agency. We thank you for watching. We've got more Daybreak coming up right after this.